Hello and welcome to A Cup of Conversation on BRT TV. My name is John Ghazi, and in the studio today I have two very special guests. Now, before I introduce them, I want to say a big thank you to Viola Edward. She's a lovely, inspirational lady who has many guests over from around the world guesting here in the TRNC. And speaking of inspiration and motivation, I have two special guests. They would have left by the time this programme is aired, but I'm very honoured that they have taken time out of their short break here in the TRNC to come to BRTK. And a big hello to Christopher Gladwell and also to Stephen Diskin. So, Christopher and Stephen, welcome to the programme.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You are both linked by Viola today on my programme. She's introduced you to me. First of all, let's speak with you, Christopher. Now, I was sent a link by Viola before the interview. She gave me a link to your webpage, and it says here, this is about you, what you've written. I'm Christopher, and my mission is to inspire and guide you to powerfully transform and free up your life. How? Through conscious breathwork, engaged body-wise yoga, and training your brain through mind mastery, and together enable you to live in greater equanimity, excellence, resilient joy, positive relationship, empowerment and well-being is what we all want. And Christopher says he's deeply interested in the optimal human experience and all this expertise I bring to my work with you. So I have to say that I've met very many different people via Viola. And you're the first person who has come to the programme with all this background, with all these wonderful terms that I hope you're going to be able to explain.
I'll do my best.
Now, first of all, Christopher, where are you from originally?
I was born in England. I'm from England. I've travelled the world. I have been to Africa and Asia. I've travelled around a lot, but I'm from England originally.
And so what brought you to the TRNC? Obviously Viola, but what's your link with Viola?
My link with Viola, actually, somebody from Cyprus came to study yoga with me in Bristol when they were doing a PhD in Bristol University. And I met them then, a young Cypriot man. And then he went away to finish his PhD in South America, went off to India, and he told people here about me. So I got an invitation from some people here in Cyprus. I've been teaching here for about 6 years. I come here about 6 times a year to teach, or have been doing.
Right.
So I run a retreat here once a year as well. And through people I've met, I met Viola, and then it's just gone on from there in terms of developing with breathwork with Viola and Kayana. So I've been through their sort of training program, which is amazing. So I'm in love with the breathwork. It's incredible stuff, and it fits so well with what I've been doing for the last 40 years. So it's just amazing stuff, you know.
Amazing. So one coincidence with Turkish Cypriots, you know, meeting you at the university in Bristol.
That's right.
And here you are.
That's right. That's
coming back and forth to Cyprus.
That's life, though. That's what happens, isn't it?
It is.
You know, you bump into somebody, something happens, and this weave that arises, you know.
In Turkish, we call it kismet.
Kismet, beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, unfortunately, Stephen, all I got was your name and that you are from Dublin, Ireland, and that you are a businessman.
I am indeed.
I looked you up on the internet, but I couldn't get much information about you. But thank you very much for joining us today, Stephen.
You're very welcome.
But you are actually linked with Christopher as well, aren't you? So tell us a bit about yourself.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I'm linked now as a businessman. I've been in business for many years in Dublin, Ireland. I recently had the opportunity to travel to California and learn a lot more about conscious connected breathing. I met Viola and was enthralled by what herself and her partners have to offer. So I took the opportunity to come here to Cyprus and see it for myself. I've met some amazing people, and Chris being one of them. So I'm designing a new business, bringing breath work to people who really need it, particularly in Ireland, where there's a lot of addiction problems, a lot of social problems, homelessness, and marginalised in the marginalised society. So we're really looking to try and match people like Viola and Chris up with people that really need help in Ireland.
Very important. Very good.
Absolutely.
Is this your first trip to the island?
It is. It won't be my last, I can tell you.
Hopefully not your last.
Well, I've already a few more planned in the next couple of months. So.
Fantastic. And what's your impression of the island?
I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Although you're from an island as well.
I am, yeah, indeed.
The Green Isle.
We're surrounded, but our neighbours are a little bit further away. Let's say America. We've we've America on one side and the UK on the other side. So interesting relationships with both countries.
So you're very used to the island lifestyle, although here it's a bit warmer and the Mediterranean style is a bit different than the Irish. But we're still all warm-hearted people, aren't we? And I know
absolutely.
That,
I've met lovely people. When I go from a cup of coffee after my swim on your beautiful beaches, I've become friendly with the gentleman who runs the coffee shop, and just so friendly. I love it. And Irish people are very friendly in general, so lots in common there. Yeah.
Brilliant. So back to you, Christopher. This is very interesting stuff, and I'm sure that our viewers will be interested to find out more. But how long have you been involved with, well, as you say in your website, conscious breath work, engaged body-wise yoga, and mind mastery? I mean, take us through each one. First of all, let's go to the beginning. Sure. Conscious breath work. What is that all about? How did you get involved with this then?
Well, most people breathe unconsciously. Okay, the breath just happens, and it's minimal. And when you change the breath by paying attention to actually how it is, simply by paying attention for a start, things change. The way your mind works change, and you can change the way your brain actually works, and the way it actually structures and it grows through conscious breath work and through meditation. Right. So my background in breathwork is from the yogic world, from India. Yeah. So about 35 years or so of working with breathwork from the yogic tradition originally, and then more recently with Kayana and with conscious connected breathing and other styles of breathing work. And it's becoming very, very popular. And the reason it's becoming popular is because you can completely alter your relationship with stress, for example. So you know, when the direct link between the mind and the emotions and the body is the breath, and the rest of the world, if you think about it. So the breath you're breathing now, has been made by trees and plants, and it's been breathed in by lots of other living things before you and will be after you. Yeah, we're sharing the breath. In fact, that's what we do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it directly connects everything. So we've got this direct connected relationship with everything in the world, and with all the parts inside of ourselves. So it brings everything into balance. And when we start paying conscious attention to the breath, and there's a whole range of practices you can do. For example, very soothing breath to bring your system down if you're feeling upset, or you can energize. There's lots of things you can do, but it's an art form and it's a science. And we're understanding more and more of the science behind breath work and how it actually makes the differences to enable us to live more fully, more powerfully, more optimally. Yeah, it's powerful.
As Stephen was saying about, maybe people in Ireland or all around the world, not specifically Ireland, but obviously because he's from Ireland, he's talking about the Irish perspective, but breath work and maybe dealing with stress in particular, or addictions or things that are going wrong in our lives. Is that what is particularly important about breath work, where if we're particularly living in a stressful environment or we have a stressful lifestyle, maybe it's time to consciously breathe properly? As you say, we don't usually think about breathing as it just comes naturally, automatically. Is it something that we normally use to combat stress?
One of its uses is to combat stress, or to actually change your relationship with stress. Mm-hmm. It's not trying because things can be stressful, but it's about our relationship to what is stressful. And what the breath gives us, and what the awareness space the breath gives us, is the capacity to relate to stressful situations substantially differently. So it's a whole different experience. And what arises out of that difference is resilience and empowerment. So we become stronger rather than being diminished or broken down by that stress. So that's one of the things it gives us. But that's just one end of the breath work, is dealing with stress. Because there's other things you get from it, like a deep sense of peace, like I'm saying, connectedness to everything. And beyond, I mean, you can take you into spaces inside of yourself where you kind of tap into the creative force, the power of the whole universe. It's kind of incredible stuff.
Wow.
It is seriously awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk too much about that, but it's pretty astonishing as to what you can find inside of your own living experience through breathwork.
And so this began primarily with your work through yoga as well.
That's right, yeah.
Because that's quite meditative, and again, you have breathing techniques when you're doing yoga.
That's right.
And so it's quite interconnected, isn't it?
Yeah,
in a way.
Totally.
One thing leads on to another. If you're doing yoga, maybe these other things don't seem so unusual to you because you're already in that frame of mind.
That's right, yeah.
Which is one thing, unfortunately, that I haven't quite got the grasp of yet in this stressful work in media, but maybe I need to go have a session with Viola one day. But
That's a good idea.
It would be a good idea. But are you also practicing yoga as well at the same time?
When do you mean at the same time as the breath work?
Yes. Are you combining them both, or are they two separate?
They are directly related. So when I'm doing, because the yoga covers a whole range of things, from body movement all the way through to lying down, doing deep relaxation, to sitting in meditation. Right? So I would say within most of those there's some way of conscious breathing, yeah? But the conscious connected breathing we're doing is usually done lying down. Again, it can be done in other ways, but it's usually done lying down. So it's directly related, but it can be done separately. You don't have to practice yoga to do conscious connected breathing.
Right.
And you don't have to do conscious connected breathing if you do yoga. It's just great if you do. They help each other.
So, Stephen, come back to you. This is your first time in North Cyprus. So what's been happening whilst you've been here? What have you learned? Or what's the actual idea of you being here physically on the island to see, you know, to learn more and to see what's going on?
To learn more, to meet people, to really basically get involved and to see how I can, you know, develop my own practice in particular, but then bring methods home, bring modalities home, try and also bring Chris and Viola to Ireland in the near future to do workshops. So I've been doing mindfulness for a number of years, and it has helped with stress. But when I started doing conscious connected breathing, it just brought me to a different level in terms of dealing with my own, you know, history, and it's been transformational, I have to say, really exceptional. So loving the atmosphere, the weather, but also there's other techniques that we've been doing in water fusion, breathing water fusion with Michael in Kayana as well. So it's just been absolutely exceptional, the experience I've had, and I can't wait to bring some of it home.
And as you were saying, that more and more people, especially in Ireland as well, where you're from, are needing this sort of, I don't know what to say about this, how we can call it, but it's not treatment, it's not a way of, well, it could be a way of life, I suppose, changing your lifestyle, but are you seeing more and more interest then? Is that why you're thinking of, you know, bringing people like Chris and Viola to the UK, to Ireland, so that they can benefit from their expertise? Yeah,
well, like I see an opportunity, absolutely. But you know, I've been in business for many years, and I've had a change in my own thinking through breath work. You know, I'm much more based in gratitude, and you know, I want to feel like I'm helping, I'm doing something for society. So through the breath, through using the breath and learning how to use it better and more efficiently, I've you know, I've found a path that I feel is for me, you know. And Ireland is really crying out for a therapy like this, for, you know, different alternatives, let's say, to the usual you know, drinking culture. You know, people are doing a lot of yoga in Ireland now, and breathwork is starting to happen. There's mindfulness is in schools already, so it would be great to start bringing some breathwork into schools as well, particularly, you know, that age group, the 15, 16 to 24 with age group really need some help, you know, dealing with the stresses of social media, etc. You know.
Yeah, unfortunately, the pressure of the 21st century and being a millennial, and, you know, everything is online, everything is so fast, everything is, you know, share, or we want to look good, we want to be successful, and so it can be a lot of stress for everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And come back to you, Christopher. The final thing here, or what else you mentioned here, was mind mastery. Mm-hmm. So what is, in your opinion, mind mastery? How can we share this with our viewers?
Okay. Mindfulness, which is paying attention to the current sensory experience. It's noticing what's actually happening right now. Yeah, how your breath is, how your skin feels, how your feet are on the floor, how you're moving, anything about your current experience is basically what mindfulness is. And it's kind of a basic level meditative practice, and a very good one, because it brings people into the moment right now and out of their heads, out of the stories they're creating about what's happening. And what meditation does, or mind mastery does, is uses a range of meditative practices that work with the guts, which are incredibly important, the microbiome, the organisms that live inside us and allow us to live, because without them we would die, and how to work with that, how to work with how we manage and understand emotions in the system, how we can work with focusing the mind and come out of the mechanisms of the brain that have evolved to take us into storytelling about who we are in relationship to other people. And oftentimes when we get into that storytelling stuff, it can be quite complicated. So we need ways to get ourselves out of that and into a space of peace, bliss, and actually optimal power and flow. And we can do that through a range of different practices that you apply through the course of the day. Yeah. So it's like a lot of people take medicine. Yeah. They have a condition, they take medicine.
Yeah.
And one of the modern conditions in the modern world is stress and inflammation and all the diseases that go with that. Yeah. So what these practices they're like medicine. They're like taking some kind of medicine. You do some early in the morning, you can do it later in the day, you can do it in the evening time before you go to bed, and those times where you take that little bit of breath medicine or meditative practice enable you to live fully and powerfully and beautifully in good relationship with your friends and your fellows and the people you work with, even if you don't get on with them. Yeah, you're trying to find a way to be fully human, fully alive, fully present, and to find a way of being more optimally, more fully, more beautifully human, ultimately. Because we're in the process, there are 7 billion of us now on this planet, yeah? And it's, as far as I'm concerned, the time's over for us squabbling as tribes, you know, fighting over this, fighting over that. Now, it's time we all grew up on this planet. And to do that, we have to have ways of doing that. And right now, it's up to us. It's up to us. It's up to this generation and the next generations to develop this. And one part of that process is taking responsibility for this brain, taking responsibility for the body, for our feelings, and living fully and clearly. And practices like conscious breath work give us that edge, and they give us that medicine, if you like, to begin to do that.
You are very busy travelling around the world, obviously speaking to people and helping people. So are you finding also that there is a big increase now of people who are thinking, yeah, I should stop and think and, you know, do this, the practice of conscious breathing and, you know, forget about hate and stress, because actually stress is the cause of many of our ailments in life. If we're ill, it's most of the time to do with stress, and that is causing all the problems within our body. So getting rid of stress is one way to live a happy and healthier life. But are you finding that more people now are, I mean, like for instance, Stephen inviting you to go to Ireland. Are you seeing more, you know, here you are in North Cyprus, you know, going from one country to another. Is it now catching on around the world?
Yeah, it is. It is, big time. It's a big wave coming, you know, and it's a beautiful one, and it needs more and more people to get on to understanding how to be, I'm going to say it again, how to be optimally human. How to actually live together in peace and in goodness, you know, in mutual empowerment and that's a powerful place to live from. So yes, it's catching on, it's going to catch on. Next generations are going to be on this, like, you know, because it's going to, one of the ways that I teach it sometimes is biohacking. You know, thinking about getting inside of your own biology so that you can make it work better for you. You know, and for the people around you, because once you make it better work for this, it's working better all around. So it makes us more efficient, it makes us more loving, more kind. It's all good. It's all good.
Having said that though, I mean, with the younger generation, about 16, 18, 20-year-olds, let's say, you know, they're the new generation coming up, but they've grown up with mobile phones, with tablets, with technology, which is developing at a great pace. I mean, I have to admit that, you know, my work, which is based, you know, in the media, again, I'm using technology, I'm using social media, and we always seem to be, you know, wherever we are, on the phone or, you know, doing something, and all that energy and all that stress, and, you know, why haven't they replied to me, or why haven't I got enough likes on my post? And is it easy for you to get people to put all that away and just say, you know, you're not even breathing properly, you're not even thinking about what's going on in your life, you're not even mindful of your surroundings? Is it easy to get people to ditch that phone or ditch technology or put it aside for a while?
It's not about ditching it, it's about being disciplined with it. Because when I use it, I have my phone, and it's actually my phone I do most of my business on these days. I've got emails, it's got all my messaging systems on there, I do a lot on it, right? So it's not about ditching it, it's about being disciplined with it. It's about being able to turn it off, switch it off, put it on airplane, whatever you need to do to give yourself the space and time, all right? And also to understand that silicon-based technology works slightly different to this carbon-based technology. Yeah? And this carbon-based protected toilet, you need certain things like water, like food, like time, like exercise. And it needs to be, you know, if you had a pet that you loved, you would look after it. Yeah? A lot of people don't look after themselves. They don't even know what looking after themselves means.
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, we're shifting out of places where people are eating in ways that does not serve them, doing addictive practices which don't allow them to feel fully, you know, because of pain or difficulty in their life. We're helping people to get into places inside of themselves where they feel great and they live a good life. And you know, I went into school to do some stuff I was working with some psychiatrists in England, going to schools to do some stuff. And we were showing these 16 to 18-year-olds just basic breath practices. And one girl who had some trouble, she said to me afterwards, 5 minutes of breathing did more for me than 7 years of working with the child and adolescent mental health services.
Wow.
That's wow. Yeah. So the thing is that what we're working with is working with powerful practices where people get huge wow. It's just wow, you know, and that is inspirational for them. So once they get touched like that, there's no going back. They know they're onto something.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get that place where people get that wow moment, that, oh, really, you know, that kind of thing. And then from that moment, they're on track with something. That's the shift. So we want as many people as possible to get that shift and really feel it, you know what I mean? And then they can start living in a good way.
Get the wow factor.
Get the wow factor, that's it basically, yeah.
Fantastic,
yeah.
fantastic. So what happens after this? I mean, as I said, when this program is broadcast, you won't be here, unfortunately,
That's
right. But you're going to be coming back. But Stephen, you know, you've got plans to come back again now to Cyprus.
I do, yeah.
So what is your plans for the future? To spread the word of all that you've learned here, all that Viola and Christopher can share? Is that what you hope to do back in Dublin?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm setting up a business as a managing agent to help holistic therapists and new startup businesses and existing businesses, just to help market them, to help run them, to help you know, get people in to see these people, because that's where the wow moment happens. You know, the wow moment happens when you sit down and talk to Viola and you sit down and talk to Chris for a few minutes and you do some of these practices. I've had wow moments and I continue to have them, so I'm going to come back and have some more. My training, I intend to be, you know, to train for the next couple of years. I would like to go into addiction recovery specialist. I'm doing a course as an addiction recovery specialist in the next couple of months. So that's the area I'd like to go into community service. But, you know, I'd like to be able to bring you know, really high quality teachers to the community as well at a really low cost. So, you know, you have to put on maybe some workshops for corporate to try and to spread the word within business as well, you know. But essentially the idea of my business is to 50-50, half corporate and half to the community. So I'd really like to bring Chris and Viola and other practitioners over to Ireland to do maybe a weekend workshop and then a night or two, you know, in the city centre, in outreach programs, in recovery programs, aftercare programs. So that's really the intention of the business.
But you said you hope to come back soon to the island again,
absolutely.
to Cyprus. So
well, I am coming back soon. I'll be back in November for a weekend, and December probably for a weekend. Yeah.
excellent. So we have a good friend now with you, coming back and forth to Cyprus from Ireland. So
absolutely
a good bridge between the two islands.
I wouldn't mind, you know, spending a lot more time here as well. It's not necessarily, my business isn't necessarily have to be run from Ireland. So I intend to have clients all over the world, and Cyprus would be somewhere I wouldn't mind basing myself. But we'll see. Ireland, Cyprus, warm, cold. You know, there's a lot of nice aspects to Ireland as well. So I might share my time between the two islands.
Well, it's good to have the chance to be able to go abroad and to choose where you want to spend the next few weeks or months of your life. And then if you get another inspirational place to go to, you go there. You know, life is to live, isn't it? You know, you don't know where you might be tomorrow, so it's good to live the moment. Christopher, so coming back and forth here, I mean, you know, Viola is such a wonderful, inspirational lady.
Yes.
With her husband, Michael. They've got great things set up in Chodalkoi. What's next for you? I mean, are you always learning? Are you always? Do you ever stop learning in this field?
No.
You can't say I'm the top. I know everything now. I've reached my pinnacle.
No.
Never.
No, you're always learning, and it's a responsibility to keep learning.
Yeah.
It's a responsibility to keep learning and growing, and getting that edge, finding that edge of, discomfort. That place where you're not quite sure, and finding more places inside is part of the work, as I understand it, which is an amazing part. It's good. I'm always learning.
You have to learn. You have to keep learning. You can't say that I know everything. No one knows everything.
No.
And
not even Google.
Not even Google. Are you still getting the wow factor every now and then?
Well, this morning for a start, yes.
Yeah.
Twice. It's been an incredible day today. I had an amazing breath-based yogic practice on the beach this morning. Where I had because I was talking to a doctor from South Africa on a call with Viola the other day, and we were talking about the relationship between mitochondria in the cells and energy production and life force and one thing or another. So I was doing my practice this morning. I had an amazing wow factor of realization of feeling into the cells in my body, and because there's this thing in the body called biophotonic light. But it was this moment. It was a wow factor about luminosity in the body. I won't go into it too much because it'll sound crazy, but it's not. All right? We're looking for science behind this as well. And then, of course, we did an amazing breath practice this morning where I had an incredible breathing practice this morning, which took me into a place of real clarity, I would say, and power, real beauty. So, that's just the start, despite the conversations I've had with other wonderful people today and then coming here. Life, if you look at it, from my perspective anyway, is just a series of beautiful, incredible, shall I use the word miracles?
Yeah.
It really is, this amazing, beautiful thing. And it's like, I want more and more people to live from this place of beauty and to really understand what that is like inside of themselves and inside their world. And why not? Yeah.
To be able to sit on the beach and to get that wow factor and to enjoy the beauty of life in itself, is a wow factor for everyone, really. We do need to take the time out to just go deep within ourselves, and you are there. People like you and Viola and even Stephen now as well can help us in that journey, because you need to be guided. You need to be taught how to do these things. So I'm so glad that you are doing this, and back and forth to Cyprus. So Cyprus is a good place to come for. All that you want to learn? Is a good relaxing atmosphere, good energy here, do you think?
I love Cyprus. I've been back a lot of times. I've come here many times. I'm back again in November and then again in December. But I love Cyprus. I love the Cypriot people. I love coming here. I'm going to keep coming back. It's a while. And I have a very strong relationship with Kayana and with Michael and with Viola, which is part. I feel part of the family. So I'm going to be involving myself in that way. Yeah.
Well, it sounds great. It sounds like a win-win situation for everyone. Positivity, that's what we need in this life. Positivity, absolutely. I think. Yeah. We need to, stop all this hate, this anger, this negative emotion, and just...
Well, positive, I think we have to grow out of that. It's like, I think there's because it's not about suppressing it or trying to push it aside or sweep it under the carpet. It's about seeing it for what it is and growing through that into gratitude, actually. Gratitude and positivity arises. But gratitude, just the simple breath, just breathing, just breathe in and realise that if trying to stop breathe is fascinating. You notice how quick.
I'm sure that's good.
Breath holding, stopping breathing, and you'll realise how precious life is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. How important that one breath is.
That's right.
At the end when you need it.
That's right.
Well, it's been fascinating speaking with you guys. I want to thank you very much for taking time out of your break here on the island of Cyprus to come to the BRTK studios. I wish you all the best for the future. I'm sure we'll be getting updates via Viola. She's a great inspirational lady. She always connects everyone. So there's a reason why you're here today. The reason that we are doing this interview is to share all your positivity with the viewers out there. Yeah. But they can find out more. You can find out more via Viola Edwards, and also Christopher Gladwell has got his own website, and of course businessman Stephen Diskin. I'm sure he can be found on social media. Just type in the names. It's easy. We're all connected together in some way or another. But once again, thank you very much for coming to the programme today, and I wish you all the best for the future. Hopefully see you maybe later on in the year.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
And with that, we've come to the end of our edition of A Cup of Conversation with these interesting people. I hope you enjoyed the programme. Tune in next week for more of the same. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.